Recently appeared before lawmakers seeking $12 million in their budget for fiscal year 2013. They asked for the additional funding to hire more staff and pay for increases in utility and insurance costs, as well as to pay for additional mandates. While they're asking for more money, island mayors have spent more than $173,000 in just the last 2 years alone on travel. According to documents provided to KUAM following a Freedom of Information Act request for travel conducted in the last 2 years, island mayors and Mayor's Council of Guam staff took 111 trips since November 2010. While almost every island mayor took at least one trip off island, we'll take a closer look at the frequent flyers. Asin Mayina Mayor Vicente San Nicolas took the most trips of any island mayor in the last 2 years, logging in a December 2010 trip to Rota, a November 2011 trip to Saipan, and numerous trips to the Philippines. San Nicolas traveled to the PI in December 2010, February, June, September, and December of 2011, as well as January, February, March, and April of this year. Maritzo Mayor Ernest Chargaloff was the second biggest traveler, going to Rota and the Philippines in November and December of 2010 and taking trips to the Philippines in January, February, March, June, and December 2011 and February and April of this year. Barragata Mayor Jesse Palican took 7 trips off island, traveling to Rota, Saipan, and to the Philippines as well. Santa Rita Mayor Dale Alvarez took 7 trips as well off island, traveling to Rota in November 2010, the Philippines in February and June of last year, Japan and Saipan in November of 2011, and to the Philippines in February and March of this year. Dededo Mayor Melissa Tavares traveled to Rota, Saipan, the Philippines, and Florida, taking 6 trips off island since November 2010. Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan took the most trips, becoming a frequent flyer, traveling to Rota in November 2010, the Philippines in December of 2010, the Philippines in February 2011, Rota the following month, the Philippines in April, Saipan in the Philippines in May, the Philippines in June and September, Japan in November 2011, Saipan later that month, and the PI again in December 2011, January, February, and March. Sablan explains why he spent so much of his time traveling.
For me, in my position, of course, I travel at the request of the mayor. And so whenever different mayors go off island and they ask me to come along to Stafford, then of course they fund the trip and I go along as their staff.
Sablan says the majority of the trips to the Philippines are a result of sister city relationships with villages.
What do you guys do on these trips?
Well, basically, it's when these mayors do invite. They have their annual fiestas or their annual festivals, and they invite to come over and take a part of the program there. They make the mayors and myself become parts of the program.
Sablan maintains the trips are fruitful and beneficial, allowing island mayors to bring the best practices in the Philippines back home, such as recycling, cultural exchange, and energy savings programs. The sources of funding used to pay for the mayor's travel comes from the general fund, but more specifically from money that's been designated for street maintenance and beautification projects, mayor's operations, or even carryover funds from previous years.
When the mayors do invite, it's not just a party, it's something serious.
For those who are critical of the frequent flying, Sablan says,
be a mayor and find out for yourself. It is not a paid vacation. I mean, yeah, it may seem to be that way. The mayors of the Philippines, you know, they don't drive. They're escorted by 24-hour guards. They're, live a good life. But our mayors here show these mayors that you don't have to be that way. You can just be a down, simple, humble person and still be a mayor and still serve your people. And so, you know, it's not the same. They don't go there to have fun. They go there to show the people there that you can be this person, be this mayor, be this vice mayor, but you don't have to get all those perks.